Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Della. Today we're putting the spotlight on a comedian who lives in Ocean County. His Facebook fans nicknamed him the Tim Tebow of comedy. Along with being really funny, Jeff Norris is also trying to help people affected by Superstorm Sandy. This routine was shot at Caroline's on Broadway in New York City. Jeff talks about being married and the in-laws who come with that union.
I'll tell you, I'm doing all right now. I'm getting ready to celebrate my third year of marriage, which is pretty good. And there's something I'm very proud to let you all know in this day and age with what's going on in our world. I am in an interracial marriage. Hey! And I say that proudly. Yes, ma'am, you can clap. Because I think there's too much racism in the world, and I married a woman outside my race. It's true. I'm Irish, my wife's Italian. Now, hey, that's interracial. Yes, it is. It's gangs in New York at my house every holiday. I gotta tell you what I feel. I love these Italians, but you take everything over. St. Patrick's Day, the only holiday we got. We had corned beef and canola. What the hell is that? So we met, and I thought it'd be a good idea for the families to meet, right? Now, I'm very nervous because my parents are very old school Irish. Best example I can give you is my mom and dad are the modern day version of Edie and Archie Bunker from All in the Family. Yes, they are my parents. Her family was the cast of Goodfellas. Right? So I say, bring your whole family over. She said, my whole family? I said, absolutely. Okay, 55 cars pulled up. Right? I opened the doors like a Verizon commercial. She was standing there. It's 55. They sit in the living room. My parents know this girl and her family are coming over, but they think it's family like Irish family. You know, mother, sister, father, brother, dog. That's it. They have no idea there's a union meet going on in the living room. So here comes my father, walking through. He sees everybody in the living room. Freaks out. It's like this. Oh, jeez, would you look at this there, huh? Well, Lord, there, you see me, your son brought home. I got 55 Italians in my living room and no plastic on my sofas. So now, my future mother-in-law walks in the house. Real Italian lady, you know, got the big hair, the nails, you know. And I'm telling my mother, don't say nothing that would be offensive. Here she comes running through the living room. She's like, oh my God, how are you? Yeah. Oh, I heard so much about all of you. Oh, you got a lot of hair. And for an Italian lady, you don't even have a mustache. Who walks in the house next? My future father-in-law. It was like meeting De Niro. She's like, Daddy, I want you to meet Jeff. He turned around. I got this. Mayo. Mayo. I'm going to tell him how nice it was to meet him. He cut me right off. He's like, excuse me. Excuse me. He said everything 3 times. It was very annoying. But yet, ironic, because the very next sentence he goes, I'm only going to say this once. So I thought I was done meeting everybody. Went, that's great, I met the whole family. Let's do something Italian now. Let's go outside, cement the backyard. You know? Because they love concrete. I don't know why.
He is so crazy. Right after the break, I'll sit down and chat with comedian actor Jeff Norris. I'm Della Cruz. My guest today is a comedian who hails from Union County but now lives in Brick. Superstorm Sandy left a path of destruction that deeply affected Jeff Norris and the people he cares about in Ocean County. Now he's holding several fundraisers to help people get back on their feet, including his former high school football coach. And Jeff, it's good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me, Della.
And I'm so sorry to hear about your football coach, but first I have to say your physical comedy is hilarious.
Thank you.
The bunkers love you.
Well, that's what it's all about there, Della, huh?
He stayed true to character. I love it. Living by the Jersey Shore, were you directly affected by that storm?
Well, I was one of the fortunate that wasn't personally affected in terms of damage to my home or everything, but on an emotional level, I was living in Jersey Shore, and even all the memories as a kid growing up, and you see the devastation of what took place. And my football coach, who was a major influence my entire life, Coach Bob Taylor from Kenilworth, New Jersey, lives in Camp Osborne section of Brick. And when
this is what it looked like before.
Yes, and then after you could see the devastation, which was horrible. And my coach, there's four people in my life that molded me: my father, my grandfather, my judo coach, and Bob Taylor. On everything in life, how to set goals, how to achieve them, and how to get up when you're knocked back down. And to hear a guy that molded me as a kid growing up in tears on the phone after losing everything and feeling hopeless, I just wanted, that's what got the ball rolling. I wanted to do something. I had him laughing on the phone.
I bet you did.
And from experience, how laughter truly heals. I really believe that. It's like music to me. And when the people laugh on stage, it's always a good feeling as an entertainer, but when it's on a personal level where you can raise money for people or just brighten them up after what they did so much for you in your life, it's double rewarding.
As a stand-up comedian, why do you think the comedy is so important in helping people bounce back and just laugh to feel good?
I think it's important on an everyday basis, because every day everybody goes through a little bit of road rage or problems at the office or something with the family. But especially now, even if anybody who wasn't personally affected, but just to see what went on in our state, as well as Staten Island and New York and other areas, you can't help but feel the pain that everyone's going through, and laughter just absolutely takes it away. And now more than ever, I think it's important to spread some laughter and just to take away, even if it's just for that hour and a half, to take some of the negative thoughts that have been in their head since the storm hit.
Jeff, do you find it more difficult to perform for those who have experienced such a huge loss?
It is harder. It reminds me back after the 9/11 tragedies, when a bunch of comedians got together to raise money for those causes too, and everyone was afraid, is it okay to laugh? You know, but that was actually a learning block for me as an entertainer, because I saw what it did for all the 9/11 families and firemen and police officers and people affected. So I had a little bit of experience from that, but it is harder, but it's also more rewarding because it's more of on a personal level. Because for me, you know the people and you know the pain and you see the tears, so it's harder, but it's more rewarding. It's more satisfaction. So
because it means more to them. I totally get that.
It means more to them. It means more to myself, and just it brings everybody together, rather than talking about, oh my God, I lost this and I lost everything and my neighbor lost everything. Now it's like, oh my, wasn't that funny? Wasn't that a funny bit? Oh my God, we raised $20,000 for the cause tonight.
Let's talk about the fundraisers you've held so far and in what areas.
I tell you, so many. We've called it the Restore the Shore Comedy Tour, and it's myself and a few other comedians that have gotten together.
I love the group that I'm looking at.
Absolutely. Well, that picture is from Staten Island, New York. We did a show for our Staten Island neighbors at the Looney Bin in Staten Island to raise money for them. And the pictures that you see now are guys from New Memory Productions, a wonderful group that I have the pleasure of working for. And the gentleman, John Grande, called me up and he says, hey, we've been taking donations at every show. Like, John puts these great shows together, and people have been dropping off brand new stuff with tags on them, coats, and we brought them down to Brick High School for the people in Camp Osborne, and they all donated their time. And DJ Paulie, who works for New Wave Productions, has donated his time for me so much with sound and lighting. But we did the Leisure Village, was our first one in Manchester, and Della, I'm so proud because it's still going on, but I recently received a letter from them, and we received raised rather over $25,000 in one show for the food bank of Monmouth and Ocean County. Yeah, that's the letter I just received.
I want people to see this letter. Very nice letter.
And, and it's still going on. People could still make donations. It's going on until the end of December. That was one effort we did. And, you know, people could call, if you don't mind me plugging it.
Go right ahead.
732-657-9100. And people are still taking donations for the food banks that we did. So that's an ongoing thing.
We'll put that information on our website, news12.com, under features. You also work with the actor Joe Piscopo. You're working with him as well.
Absolutely. I tell you, it's such a privilege. I had the pleasure of meeting Joe through Craig Carton, formerly from 1015. Now he's Boomer and Carton fame on the sports radio show. But Craig Carton was kind enough to put me on a show and Joe Piscopo happened to be there. And Joe and I hit it off well. And Joe's nickname is Joey Benefit because he's always doing stuff for people, Joe Piscopo, whether it be kids or for whatever cause. And Joe and I got together to raise some money for the storm victims. We have a great show coming up the end of the month in December for our firemen friends on Long Beach Island. And we have a big show coming up in mid-January at Brick High School for the people of Camp Osborne, as well as Vern Hawkins, a teacher that tragically passed away on Thanksgiving from an accident at his home, who was a teacher at Brick.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
So we're combining double benefit to raise money for his children as well as the Camp Osborne people, and it's going to be fantastic. Myself, Joe Piscopo, a great group called the Gas House Gorillas, a swinging band, like a Stray Cats kind of sound, and it's just paying it forward. But it's from what I see too. Like I've seen people pull over and give coffee to the utility workers and to the policemen. I've seen firemen out pushing people through flooded streets in Brick. And like, if I was a carpenter, I'd go around building houses for people.
Exactly.
But I have a gift of laughter, and I enjoy making people laugh, and we're raising money for it, and it's taking a little bit of the pain away.
And people can use it. You also pay it forward to the wounded warriors. Tell me a little about that.
Oh, what a great group of people they are. I have the pleasure, I became friends with State Trooper Sergeant Sean Gleason, who founded the program TAT, which is Troopers Assisting Troops. And what they do is they take all the wounded warriors from Fort Drum, New York, and bring them down and give them a weekend in Jersey with comedy and fishing, and I work with them every summer, and it's a fantastic show.
I bet they appreciate that. More with Jeff Norris right after the break.